Okay, so for this video, I wanted to cover the IRS Form 8925. It's the report of employer-owned life insurance policies. So we've got a sample form in front of us here, and then on the other page, a slide that covers some of the rules and key points that we need to be mindful of in determining whether or not we need to file this form. So if we start at the top here, just some of the basics. Employer-owned life policies are just that. They're policies that are taken out by the company on the lives of its employees. Generally, these are taken out on individuals that hold key roles in the company. So certain C-suite executives, they might have policies in place to cover those lives because their salaries are really high and they're key personnel that cost a lot of money to find replacements. So if something happens to them, the company wants to be paid out. All right, I mean, that's really, let's call it what it is. Now, traditionally, life insurance policies are just taken out on individuals, and the beneficiary is a family member of the individual, right? So if Bob holds a life insurance policy on his life, in the event of his death, it pays out $500,000 to his wife, right? That's the most traditional type of life policy you come across, but with these employer-owned policies, the employer is the one that takes out the policy, they pay the premium, and so in the event of the employee's death, the employer, the company itself, is getting the payout. It's not going to another individual. So the relevant code section here, IRC 101 J3 Cap A, employer-owned life insurance contract, means life insurance contract which is owned by a person engaged in a trade or business, and such person is directly or indirectly a beneficiary, right? And the policy covers the life of an insured who is an employee at that business. So if we look at an example here, we have Manufacturing Business LLC. It's a Delaware LLC, taxed as a partnership, and it's engaged in the business of manufacturing textiles, right? It could be whatever, it doesn't matter. The LLC employs 85 individuals across the whole company, and the company, the LLC itself, decides to take out life insurance policy on 2 of its key employees. Okay, the LLC is going to be the beneficiary of the policy. It's also making the payments on the policy, right? So the company is paying the premiums. Now, if the employee dies, the payout is directed to the business, right? So the business cashes in on the policy, they get the money. Now, it doesn't mean that the employees can't have life policies outside of this that do go to their heirs or their spouse or their kids, whomever. They can certainly have those, but the company, in this case, wants a life insurance policy where it itself is the beneficiary. Okay? So in this example, 2 employees out of the 85 each got $1 million in coverage, right? So let's look at the form. Let me go back to it here. Pretty straightforward. This is filed with the tax return. So Manufacturing Business LLC, it's filing 1065, right? Because remember, it's a partnership. So within the 1065, it needs to include this schedule. So we have the name of the company, EIN for the company, and the type of business. And then and obviously just fill out items 1 through 4B, right, as applicable. So we have 85 total employees, as noted on the slide. 2 of those employees are insured employees that the employer owns life insurance contracts, and then the total face value of the policies, right? So $1 million each times 2 is $2 million. Question 4A, very, very important here. So we're answering yes as required, but in order to have these employer-owned policies, the employer has to provide notice and get consent from the employee, okay? Companies can't just go start taking out life insurance policies on their employees unless they have their permission. So question 4A, obviously you want to be answering yes here, right, because that's a requirement in order to get the employer-owned policy. But again, just to be clear, it's important that companies do notify the employees if they have a policy on their life, and traditionally they do, because it's an employee that might also be an owner in the company, so they're already well aware that this is going on. They might have even recommended it personally, but yeah, very, very important when filling out this form. Make sure you confirm whether or not the employer received the consent and provided the notice requirements, so you can answer yes to that question in 4A. So that covers it. Pretty straightforward. Again, just make sure that this has to be filed if you have any of these life policies out there. And yeah, that covers it. So thank you for watching. I hope you have any questions. Just leave me a comment below on the video. Happy to answer any I can, and I hope to see you again soon. Thank you.